Hello, and welcome to a vintage story thing. I love this game. I think it's incredible, and I want to share it with people. I've written an incredible number of intros for this video because I have so many things I want to say, and I just couldn't come up with a clean way to say them that didn't feel like high school essay filler. So here's a bullet point list of the really top level things I want to accomplish with this series. 1. I love this game, and I want to show it to people. I love this game because of its depth and complexity and nuance, and those all sound the same, but this game it's special, and I can only show that through, playing the game with you and showing that experience of piecing through the puzzle. Hour-long 100 days challenge videos don't do the experience justice. Most of them are borderline speedrunning, but Vintage Story is, at times, a meditative experience, which is interesting because the next thing I want to do is 2. Show people how to play Vintage Story. Vintage Story is hard. I don't think I would have gotten far without watching other people play, so this is my way of paying it forward. The thing I struggled with as a new player was knowing what I should even be doing. There's so many options, I didn't know how to prioritize them. So this isn't a guide per se, but I'll be talking through my thought process and explaining mechanics as we use them. And so, 3. I want to use all of the mechanics. I want to make cheese, I want to make aqua vitae, I want to make multiple suits of dyed gambeson and attire for different seasons and just fully explore the game. I've never done all of it before, and I think it would be neat to do that in the context of a series like this because 4. I just want to hang out. This isn't going to be scripted. I'm not doing a hardcore challenge. I'm not attempting mega structures for clicks. I'm just playing a game and talking to you, explaining stuff if you're listening. And if you're not, if you like to pull videos up on a second monitor while you play whatever, or have a YouTube video play while you fall asleep, well, I do it too. This is for you. This whole second channel is for you, actually. This channel is going to be about whatever happens to catch my interest, paying no mind to what the algorithm says I should make. Though I'll keep up with series like this one for as long as it makes sense, because I want to, not because Algorithmos, god of content delivery, wants me to. So yeah, without any further shalubadoop, there's a link in the description that will go to a Google Doc with my world settings, links to all the mods I'm using, there are 53 of them, and my config settings for those mods. The world seed is not currently in there, but I plan to add it after a few episodes just to avoid spoiler kind of stuff. With that, I'm playing a hunter because I want to use a bow, and let's go. And here we are. So first things first, we're going to be looking for, some rocks. Good, I think granite will work, and this is flint, that's even better. I will get to why we need flint in just a moment, but right now, I'd like to get out of this fog, so we can maybe get a better look at our surroundings. Oh, look at this. So there is copper here on the ground. This is an excellent early game find, but we don't really have the inventory space for it at the moment. So what I'm going to do is mark it on the map. Now, normally, I would pull up the map, zoom in, right-click, and set it to copper. But I have a mod where if I look at something, I can crouch, and it'll mark on the map. So I'm just going to mark that for now because we do not have the inventory space for that. But that's very good. And actually this box seems really light colored. Hold on. This is chalk sand. Oh, and there's peat here. I'll mark the peat. This is chalk. You can get lime out of chalk. All of the experienced Vintage Story players out there that are watching right now are very jealous of this spawn. That is super exciting. Okay, so we have tons of chalk, but where are we gonna set up? Oh, this is an island. Okay, let's try to not be on an island. Oh, that's a wolf. Luckily, they don't seem to care too much about us. Oh, sticks are good to get to. I'll take some free sticks. Oh, did you hear how the rain changed the sound of it? You can hear it hitting the leaves now. That's such a good detail. Okay, so I'm going to head over to these lakes because something that we need in early game is cattails. And cattails tends to spawn near these tiny inland lakes. So, I'm gonna hop into the water, unfortunately. Well, since we're just swimming around and looking for cattails at the moment, it's probably a good time to explain a little bit about what this is. So, obviously, this is Vintage Story. And though I enjoy the early game greatly, I intend to take this all the way to end game. So that is like all of the crafting stuff. I want to explore all of the crafting systems for this game. That is my big goal with this series. I've played well over 500 hours of this game, and a lot of that was on multiplayer servers, where I was always in charge of the farms. I just fell into that role. And there will certainly be a lot of farming, but I'd like to explore the other systems, the other endgame crafting. Oh, I mean, there's so much. All of the stuff. I could just leave it at that. But I'd really like to get into like mechanization. So that's the windmill, the pulverizer, obviously steel production. We're definitely going to be heading into steel. Also, actually, let's talk about a mechanic real quick. So soil fertility is a thing. Here I go getting stuck in farming again. But soil fertility is a thing. This is forest floor, which I think is equivalent to low fertility. And then there's high, medium, and low fertility, as well as terra preta, which is, I believe, only craftable. And there's also this, barren soil, which is worse than low fertility soil. You can see that it's even paler. But it's very rare. Well, not that rare. This is a huge biome of it. But it's not particularly common to run into a bunch of barren soil, so that's kind of unfortunate. Oh, that's more copper. Oh, that is exciting. Okay, I'm gonna tag that. Oh, that's so good. That's so good for early game. Okay. Is this more copper? Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna tag that as well. That is a lot of copper. Okay, that's really exciting. We will come back to that. By the way, I am heading in this direction because I saw on the map there's this building, which this is going to be a trader. Explain them when we get over there. And I think this might be a crater where we can get some meteoric iron. We won't be able to do anything with it for a while, but it would still be neat to find and just have it in the wings, so to speak. Oh, and I can see some goats out across this slope. Food is going to become a problem for us. Okay, where was this possible crater? Oh, it's still a ways off. All right. Oh, look at this. That is lead ore. There's some here too. That's nice. There's a little lead deposit up here. We will need lead somewhere down the line. Not for a bit yet, though. I don't think, anyway. How many sticks do I have? I have 7 sticks. Okay, so there's a goat down there. Somewhere. There it is. There's a few goats. And we're in need of food. So I'm going to take this piece of flint and then sprint right-click. And this opens up the crafting interface. Well, the napping interface. So I need to make spears. Here's the spearhead. Now we have this plate of voxels arranged in front of us. This is our piece of flint, and we need to nap the flint spearhead out. So we just take this and we get rid of the blocks it tells us to. Once we disconnect the object from one of the sides, the whole thing pops. I'm going to make 3 of these. That's just the number that I like to have. And then we're going to do a little hunting. Okay, so I now have my 3 spearheads. But I need to take 3 sticks. There we have them. 3 is a lot for our current inventory space, but we don't really have too much option. Alright, I'm gonna try not to get too close and spook him before we land our first shot. Got the hit. Oh, he stopped running. Got him. Oh, is he coming for me now? No. Okay, good. Oh, wow, I really threw that thing. Got him. Okay, pick my spears up, and now... So we have a dead goat, but we can't, like, interact with it. Hitting it doesn't do anything. We need another tool. So I'm going to take my flint again, and this time we need a knife. So we nap it out like before, put it on a stick, and here's our flint knife. So now we take our knife, and we can harvest the goat. What do we get? Ooh, 6 raw red meat. That's not bad. Some horns, and a raw hide. I can't really do anything with the raw hide, or the bones for that matter, so I'll leave that there. The horns, can I put these down? Oh, really? Well, I'm just gonna chuck them then. Inventory is at too much of a premium for that. Now we have some food, we'll just have to deal with cooking it. That challenge will be in a moment. Oh, there's 2 foxes sleeping. Oh, there's 3 foxes sleeping. Look at that. How cute. Oh, that possible crater. Here it is. Oh! And more copper. Oh, this is so good. Boom. Copper. That is not a crater. Okay. That is a chasm to the underworld. Just gonna leave that be. So traders, obviously, we can trade with. But we can also have a little conversation with him. Haven't seen you around before. You just wake up? I think so. Well, good morning to you. Name's Trader. I roam around these parts, finding and trading what I can. It's kind of weird that that's a line, because they just added in this recent update that we can ask traders what their name is. And this trader is Sprig. Sprig, the survival goods supplier. Let's see what he's got. So on the left here, these are the objects that we can buy from this trader, and these rotate every, I think, 5 in-game days, but this trader will reset in 4 days. And we can sell the things on the right, and both of these will reset at the same time. We can sell like some different breads, leather, charcoal, copper ingots. Okay. What can we buy? Fur coats, bed, halite. That's nice. That's salt, which would allow us to do a lot of preservation. Recurve bow. Oh, and the currency that's used by traders is gears. So you'll see that the price is 10 gears. The coloring is from a mod. The range for price of a tin bronze spear is 8 to 12 gears. So 10 gears is yellow because it's right in the middle of the road. This halite is expensive, and this bed is very cheap though. It doesn't have a range either. This recurve bow is a very good deal, but unfortunately we have no gears to our name, so we can't even take advantage of that, which I am playing as a hunter. I do want to take advantage of bows at some point, but right now, obviously, that is a little bit outside of our price range. We'll probably end up making our own anyway. Is that more copper? Hold on. If that's more copper... Oh. Before we leave, I need to mark this trader. Hey, Sprig. Excellent. And now, so my mod will mark that as a survival goods trader. So that is sprig. That whole little island is chalk, isn't it? That's good. I will explain why that's good when we get there, because that is in probably several episodes. Things go a little bit slower in Vintage Storyland. You can see the sun is already setting, and this is a gargantuan pile of copper. I think we're going to be living nearby. In fact, we should probably look into something resembling storage. Not storage, well, yes, storage, but something resembling shelter. Which means we need another tool. You put down another piece of flint here, and an axe head this time. We'll make my axe, obviously. I'm going to put it down on the ground, pick this up, because I'm going to set down some spears, since we don't need them right now. Hopefully. If we do, I will regret this decision. But I do need this axe so that we can cut this tree down. This is a larch. Do you remember in that other block game, way back in like alpha and beta, there was a rumor that if you broke the leaves, you got more seeds. Well, here in Vintage Story, that's actually true. And doubly so if you break the... See how this says at the top of the screen, larch branchy leaves, and then this block just says larch leaves. So branchy leaves always drop a stick, and they have a higher chance of dropping a seed than just the leaf blocks. So that didn't drop anything. And the branchy leaves, there's a stick. But you can also get seeds at a higher rate from the branchy leaves. So I'm going to break some of those because I like to plant at least one seed for every tree I cut down. They are technically a finite resource, I mean, as is almost everything, but trees are especially renewable, so I like to renew them. And we might not get a single seed out of this. Oh, there's one. Never mind. Spoke a moment too soon. Okay, that is most of the leaves, so I'm going to switch to our axe and start cutting. Start chopping. There we are. And let me take the axe and our logs, turn that into firewood, and I need a couple more things. Let me put this firewood down. I can just stack it up on the ground here. And I'm going to cut some grass before it gets dark. I need at least 25 grass, but hopefully more than that. I swear this was a random seed. I did not I did not look up any seeds or like plan this out. This is just, oh man. Those of you who are not new to Vintage Story, you'll know why I'm so excited. Right, so with our grass before it gets too dark, I'm going to put a piece down there, then I'll plant these seeds. Bam, bam. Okay, now we have a little bit more inventory space, and actually I'm going to eat these black currants before we start honking out of starvation. I'll grab some logs, put them on as well, and now I need 2 pieces of grass and a stick, or in 2 sticks, to make a fire starter, which we can use on our little fire pit. And this sometimes takes a while, but we will eventually get fire. And fire from fire pits thankfully does not spread, so it's actually safe doing this out in the open here. And there's our fire. If it was raining, we'd want to build a little roof because that could put our fire out, but for the time being, I think that will do. I'm going to right click on this, and now we can cook up our meat. I will put a couple more pieces of wood on the fire and just leave that be while I get to doing some other things. I'm going to take some more of our dry grass and make 3 hay bales. And if I drag them across the crafting grid, we get a hay bed. Which I'm not going to use just yet, but put it there. We should honestly be safe for this first night. But I'm going to make something else as soon as this cooks up. If we take dry grass and put it on top of sticks in the crafting grid, we get torches, which I can now light in the fire by just holding them in there. You can also quote-unquote cook them, but this lets me do two things at once. And that's just plain efficient. The mechanic that I haven't explained yet is our little toolbar here. Right now, this is our entire inventory space. We can only hold things in these 10 slots. We will get to these slots to the right in a bit, but this one over here is our offhand slot. And if I press the swap hands key, I put my torches in my left hand, and this is a dynamic light, so I can just walk around with this, do a little bit more exploring. However, having something in our offhand increases how many calories we burn. If I open up the character menu, you can see our hunger rate is 103%. I think that's because it's a little bit cold up here. But if I switch this into my offhand, it is now 123%. It adds 20% additional hunger, which is not really great. I will try to avoid holding things in my offhand as much as possible, though, I mean, there's some things where it's just practical to do so. I think it's too dark to really do that much exploring right now. Oh, did our meat finish cooking? Yes. Grab that into our inventory. And while you are asleep, your rate of hunger is much slower. So I'm just gonna go to sleep. It's still a little bit early. It might be dark when we wake up, but then we will have our meal. We didn't even start starving. How's that for excellent? Let's have breakfast. This will give us 280 satiation, which this bar right here is our satiation, or hunger. I'm probably going to call it hunger most of the time. Each one of these little segments is worth 100 satiation, and since this is 280, I'm not going to eat it right now. We want to have about 3 of these blocks open. Once we get to meals, those function differently, but I'll go over that when we get there. For now, we have some exploring to do. Let me grab our spears. I can leave all of this here. And yeah, I'll put down a house icon for now. This is almost definitely not where we will end up living. It's a little bit cold up here because of the elevation, which we are currently at 67 meters above sea level. That's fairly high, as you can see. We're about halfway up the height of some of these arguably mountains. I think those are technically mountains. And I think that is a ruin. Let's go exploring. We will want to do a little bit more hunting today at some point as well. I want to grab another goat. That seemed to do well for us. So ruins are dotted all over the landscape. And once you know what you're looking for, you can actually see them on the map. The one that we're in right now is these kind of rectilinear patterns. It's a little bit hard to make out, but you can start to pick them out. If I look around, there are probably more of them. I mean, there are almost definitely more of them, but they can be hard to find. Although, up to the north, that looks like another trader. We should probably check that out. And that, a cool waterfall. I am going to put a red X on this trader, which is the icon that I use for I intend to go here at some point. Ruins can hold a whole bunch of different things, including just cool places to explore, but this one I see contains 2 things of note. There's bony soil and a cracked vessel, and this is a forage vessel. This is basalt? How do you pronounce that?
Basalt.
Basalt. Good. So we have basalt here, which is a nice dark rock. I think it looks really good in cobblestone as like a foundation layer, so we will definitely be using some of that. Ooh, especially ashlar would look nice. We will get to that. For now, oh, there's another bit of ruin up here. Hold on. Sometimes there's stuff under the ruins. They kind of get buried, so I'm just going to give it a real quick look. So bony soil is useful, but I'm going to just leave that here for now. And I think I'm also going to leave this, but I will mark these ruins with a white icon, which I use to represent that it is essentially unlooted. So I know that there's a storage or a cracked vessel here, but I'm not going to deal with it right now because we don't have enough inventory space to hold it. And I really need to find cattails because that is how we will expand our inventory. You may have already noticed on the crafting screen, when I open it up, it says inventory and crafting, but there's no inventory here. Well, cattails are how we're going to fix that. Probably. There are other things that we could do, but if we hit something else before we hit cattails, that is concerning. So I guess we'll see what happens. Our hunger is now low enough that I'm going to eat this cooked red meat. And that opens up another slot for us to work with, so that's good. It looks like that might even be more chalk. And that is a crop right there. That might be wheat or rye. I'm definitely going to be interested in tagging crops. Oh, berries. Nice. Dude, this rock is an uncommon rock. This is obsidian, which you can use to make tools, much like flint. And it's a little bit stronger. It's a little bit more durable, which is not actually true of obsidian in real life. Oh, look, more copper. There's so much copper. This is incredible. There's so much. That's very good. Because I have so much water coverage in this world, I am playing with an increased copper deposit rate, but it is not nearly as big of an increase as the amount of land that's being taken up by water. This is just a very lucky spawn. Oh, there's carrots here. More berries. I'm gonna grab these so we have something to go. Oh, more carrots. Always good to tag because we don't have the inventory space right now, or really, like, we don't know where we're going to be setting up for the long haul, so there's not that much point to grabbing a bunch of crops and having huge inventory problems until we know where we're gonna put them. At least that's how I look at it. Oh, more copper? Amazing. Rabbits can be one-shot even with a flint spear. They don't drop that much meat, but they're very easy to take out. Got it. That is a baby rabbit. I will leave that be. Ooh, flax. Flax is very important for game progression, for everything, and we will get to that when we get to farming, which should be one of the first things that we end up setting up. Look at this. This is mixed lupins and heather. Oh, that's cute. There's some woad in there too. This is barren soil, right? Low fertility. Basically barren. Yeah, I'm not going down there. Ooh, crops though. There's some rye, some flax. That's nice. That's a nice little find. Anytime I see a slope, I'm gonna look over it, because you can just cover so much. That looks like another bit of ruin down there. I don't know. Ooh, and there's cattails. And turnips. For now, I'm just tagging the crops. I will go over how they work later. And wow, this is sure is a ruin. Oh, why is that not breaking? Oh, there's more ruin underneath. Okay. And that's peat. Peat is a fuel source that we will almost definitely be taking advantage of. Okay, let's just see if there's anything down there. Probably not. But we have cattails and more crops. Now we need these cattails something fierce, so I need... you know what? I'm gonna chuck the axe, because I can always make another. And I don't like to be without my spears. Oop. although we have a grace timer on the major enemies spawning, we still have to worry about wolves, bears, hyenas, technically, though they aren't going to be around here. I think there's some other threats. Maybe there aren't in temperate regions. Oh, there's moose. Yeah, if we see a moose, though, we're just running. I'm not going toe-to-toe with a moose yet. Almost everything in the world is useful for something. That's really special about this game. That's how Minecraft... Oh, just heard a piglet. That's how Minecraft used to feel. Every update seemed like it added stuff that was useful. Everything in this game has a purpose. Even the decorative blocks feel earned. They don't feel like fluff. And the different rock types, well, we'll get into that when we get into prospecting properly, but the different rock types, how like, here's 3 different rock types being shown. This isn't random. This lines up with how different rock strata are formed through geological processes in real life. And what ores are found in which host rocks is a whole thing. There's just so much to this game. Just when you think there can be no more, there is more. So this water feature that I'm following right now, this is a river, and this is added by a mod, I am sorry to say. But the mod is just called River. But there are a ton of cattails growing along this river. And that is cool looking. With the water streaming down like that, that's good. I think that's actual obsidian rock bent down there. Obsidian is fairly uncommon. I think this is the first world I've played where I've seen like a significant amount of obsidian. I wonder what obsidian is host for. Actually, that's a decent time to bring up the handbook. So if I look at this and I sprint H, it opens up the handbook to whatever I am looking at. And oh, obsidian is the ore, kind of, that occurs in basalt. That explains it. And I noticed while I was swimming over here, there's some stuff up there. Let's see if I can get up to it. Bismuth. I'm just gonna mark that for later, but let's open the handbook to it. And ores will drop crystallized chunks of the ore, which you then have to process. But that will give us bismuth. So that's exciting. We need bismuth for, well, not very much, honestly, for molybdechalcos, and I think you use it in a couple alloys, but we will get to that when we get there. Guessing that's also bismuth? That looks the same, right? Yeah, I think that's also bismuth. Can't really do anything about that right now. Bismuth was, I'm going to press H to open the handbook. I'm just going to type in bismuth ore, and it's not going to tell me unless I'm looking right at it. That's kind of annoying. I was hoping it would tell me the tool tier needed, but it's probably bronze. Just making a guess. Oh, and what I'm doing by harvesting these cattails with a knife is I'm only cutting off the tops, so I'm leaving the roots in the ground, and these will regrow. If I use a knife again, I don't actually have the inventory space for it, but if I use the knife again, I will get the roots, and I can plant them wherever I want, as long as it is dirt, gravel, I think gravel. Yeah, dirt, gravel, sand, it'll grow on any of those surfaces. Doesn't even need water. But right now, we don't really have the space for that, so. This is a mushroom. This might actually be a mushroom from a mod. No, I think a red wine cap is vanilla, but we can open the handbook to it. And we can see this is not poisonous. It would say negative however much health, if it was poisonous. This is not. So I'm going to drop our meat in the ground. Collect these. Eat them right away. I think I saw another... Oh yeah, there's more mushrooms over here. The field mushrooms I also know are safe. That one's just from experience. But since we're so low on space, I'm just going to grab all of these and eat them right on the spot. We don't need a knife to collect mushrooms or other crops, but it is faster. And time is kind of important right now, because we are racing the end of the day. Now, where did my meat go? There it is. Bam. That right there, how I just climbed that, that is also a mod. And I thought these fried chicken mushrooms, which are also edible, I thought those were a rabbit. Oh, there's a bunch of these. I'll give them a tag. Mushrooms are nice to tag for if you're ever just out and about during the warmer months. Let's take a look at this trader, though, and see what he's got. Then a lot of trees. Oh, he has a fancy door. Hello, trader. New customer, how can I help you? Yeah, what's your name? Haldor. Haldor, the building materials trader. So he'll buy saws, kind of general stuff, but he'll sell decorative things. There's some wallpaper in here, brush mats, which I think you can make pretty easily. Yeah, that's just cattails on a knife. Some clay shingles for a fixed price too. Okay, well, we don't have a use for him right now, but we'll keep him on our map. There's some more crops to tag, and this right here is clay. So I'll tag that too. And this that's happening, this is also a mod behavior. This is from a mod that makes desire paths. That'll be fun when we get there. Those will slowly form over time. And we have so far gotten 50 cattails, so I'm going to take these, drag them into a lowercase u. Now we have hand baskets. What we can do with these, we can put them into these slots to the right of our hotbar, and you'll see they give 3 storage slots. So that is why we care about cattails so very much right now. And we're lucky enough to be able to make all 4 of those. Stuff the cattails in there, the sticks. I can put my spears away. And these into the inventory. Cool. Now I can pick up some more of these berries too. And start picking up a whole bunch more things, actually. High fertility soil. I think that might be some more over there too. High fertility soil is quite rare. It forms in these small patches. I'll need to come back and mine this out. So I'm going to mark this. And let me just confirm that's what this is as well. I'm still pretty severely in need of cattail, so I'm not going to turn my nose up at that. And yes, this is also high fertility soil. Well, that is very exciting. I think there were cattails. Yep. Oh, I should probably mention that the climbing is not infinite. Like this, I can't reach, and I can't just grab onto the wall. I can, however, crouch and jump a little bit higher, gain just a bit more reach. So that's as high as I can go. That is 3, 4. That is 4 blocks that I can climb. So I really don't feel like that's too cheaty. But it is definitely convenient. Onions. Onions and turnips are really nice to have because they are root vegetables. They keep for a very long time. Grains also keep for a long time, though. And this over here, you might think that this is stand of cattails, but these actually are something different entirely. This is tule. And yes, that is how you pronounce that. Tule is the plant that thatch is made of. So for thatch roofing, you can use tule. or grass, but grass takes how much does it take? It takes a lot. So if you have access to Thule and you want to thatch a roof, that's the fastest way to go about it. And it is starting to get dark. I am not prepared. Not good. So since it's late and we are quite a ways off from our makeshift home, see, we're about better part of a kilometer for sure away. So since we're all the way out there, what I'm going to do is stop into our new trader friend because I noticed he has a bed. And traders are pretty cool guys. They are willing to let you just crash in their bed. Well, it's starting to get a little bit darker. Yeah, Halder, we're just gonna sleep in your bed. Don't worry about it. Thanks. 3 days left before monsters begin to appear. Oh, we woke up with our head in the ceiling. Okay. And it is bright and sunny. So I'm going to head back to the river and follow it up a bit further, see if there's any more cattails, and if there's anything else we can find. Clay also tends to form around bodies of water, I've found, so we might as well keep an eye out for clay as well. Look at these! Oh, they're so tall. These are definitely from my mycology mod. So I'm going to press H on these, and they are edible. I was really assuming these were going to be poisonous. I do have a mod that will allow us to propagate mushrooms, but it's a whole process and it requires things we are definitely not capable of producing yet. So instead, I'm just going to collect them. They will respawn in roughly the same spots. I do not know the timer on that. I know that they do respawn eventually. And farming mushrooms is indeed something I would like to do in this world. I want to farm all kinds of exotic things. We'll be going on journeys to the far north and south to find all kinds of exotic crops and different woods to build with. And with these berries, though we're nowhere near doing it now, we'll be able to turn berries into alcohol, which we can distill into more refined versions. And distilling alcohol is something I've never done before, so we will be learning that together. I have made wine before, but I have never distilled it. It's quite the investment of resources to get a still going. Ooh, there's a deer there. Deer are full of meat. Missed the last shot, but... Oh, it's coming for me! Oh no. Oh no. Oh. That was a lot closer than I would have liked it to have been. So now we're very low health. Kind of losing some color to the world, and our aim is... My hand is off the mouse, it's kind of just doing that. Almost got taken out by a deer. An embarrassment. But this, with this tiny trunk, is an apple tree. Can't really do anything with it right now, but I will mark it and that will continue to grow. We will visit that later in the fall. Fine meat. That's excellent news. We have a large rawhide, which I'm going to put in our crafting inventory, and we're going to take this fat. We're going to oil that hide, which will now cure into a pelt. We can use pelts to make a couple things, but we need a bunch more of them. We can use pelts to make, I believe it's the hunter backpacks, right? Hunter backpack. Yes, the hunter backpacks are made with pelts, and we can also make fur coats and boots and gloves, and we will definitely be wanting to make those for our first winter. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna go for that deer. It's probably gonna mess me up. Ooh, and here we are. This is Fly Agaric. If I open the handbook, you can see that this is actually quite poisonous. We only have at most 16 health, and this will take 6.5 of it. Yeah, though right now we only have 1.9 health because the deer messed us up. Jack-o'-lanterns are also poisonous, slightly less poisonous, but still poisonous. It's an ingredient for what? Oh, basic potion base. This is from a mod called Alchemy, which I have never used before, so we'll be exploring that together. How actually do you make this? So is it like any poisonous mushroom? I'm guessing that's the gimmick here. So it's like any poisonous mushroom, horsetail, which is a healing item, and a mortar and pestle, which is added by the mod. It has durability. Okay. That's nicely annoying. Ingredient for alchemy stuff. Okay. Potion tea. Oh, wow. This is going to be a whole thing to explore. We will get to that later because it looks like we need barrels anyway. There's a wolf down there. I'm just going to get out of here. Yeah, I'm not going to go in the spooky cave yet. We will be going into caves eventually, but I think right now is not the right time. Being wounded, by the way, increases our hunger rate while we are healing, though it won't show in our character menu, but just something to be aware of. This is kind of another apple tree. That's weird. We're just gonna leave that and hopefully it'll grow in better. We have 11 meat right now. That's pretty good. I'm gonna keep exploring for a bit, see if we can find anything. See if we can find a place to actually set up. My ideal spot is gonna have access to water, like access to the shore. Relatively nearby access to the shore. Oh, there's cattails here. It'll be relatively flat. So maybe like a little bit of elevation change wouldn't be too bad. A slight hilliness. That'll force more interesting building, I would think. But we will definitely want at least medium fertility soil on the surface. And my knife just broke, so let me make a new one. You may note that I'm walking everywhere instead of running and jumping. And that is because sprinting drains your hunger very quickly. Since we're not about to get eaten by something, I am fine with taking it slow and enjoying the walk. And that is resin. So I'm going to tag that because we can't really do anything with it right now, though our inventory is pretty open. Yeah, okay. So resin is kind of a mid to late game thing. This is used for a lot of mechanical contraptions, and you definitely want to tag it because resin, without mods anyway, only generates on the trees that spawn in during world generation. You cannot get it on trees that you plant. So you don't want to break these down, and I believe resin only comes from pine and acacia wood. I think I'm saying that one right. Acacia is down to the south though, so we're not going to see any of that for a long time. I'd like to eventually collect some, and look at this, there's even more copper. Oh, wow. There's so much. There's so much copper. Oh, that cave looks real spooky. Yeah, I'm not going in there. There are some really cool waterfalls in this world. Well, it's getting late and we're getting hungry. We've kind of looped back around to our little makeshift home. Kind of home. Our makeshift campsite, let's call it. So I'm going to start heading back to that. And I'm actually going to pin. So now, when I close the map, you'll see on the edge of the mini-map, that's our pinned waypoint. Oh, found some more right here. I have never had this much copper marked on the map by the end of day 3. This is This is something else. We're gonna be drowning in this stuff. We are here back at our little campsite, just in time to start honking from starvation. Very good. Put that torch back down. Torches will burn out after 48 hours, but if you boop, and replace them, it resets the timer. Now I'm going to pick up some logs, drop them down, take our meat, throw it on the fire, and we don't need to use this fire starter because now we have torches. So I can just hold a torch on our fire pit, and now we're cooking. I'm actually going to eat these 4 black currants that I stop honking incessantly. And we have some more food, but we aren't going to need to eat this right now. So what I'm going to do is take some cattails. We can make a reed chest. Just one, unfortunately. But it's something. And what we're going to do with that is right here, we're going to dig a hole, put our chest into it, and deposit our food here. Now this is fresh for 16 days. Let's do 18 hours, 3 days, 16 days. I like to sort them from earliest spoil to latest so that I start using them from the top left of the list, kind of like the order that you read in. But we're not going to be using any of these right now. And instead, I'm going to go over to our low fertility soil. I'm going to place it here while keeping this chest open. I can control the camera again by holding Alt. Now I have mouse look. But if I put this block of dirt here over the chest, which I'm kind of reaching through the block right now, we'll see this was 18 hours, 3 days, and 16 days. Now it is fresh for 1 day, 5 days, 23 days. Because that little chamber, that 1 by 1 by 1 voxel block in there that has the chest in it, functions as a cellar, which is a mechanic that reduces the temperature inside of that room, allowing you to preserve food inside of a cellar for longer. You can make cellars that are up to 7 by 7 by 7 meters, and we eventually will, but for now, this is all we have the storage to fill, honestly. It's not even that I don't want to make a bigger cellar, we just don't have anything to put in one. But we'll close that for now, and we will leave that until tomorrow, basically. And you'll see that this is still cooking. That's because the fire pit is still over the temperature required, which is marked on here as 150 degrees Celsius. So as long as the fire pit is over 150 C, this stack of whatever it is will continue cooking. So there should actually be enough. I don't think I need to put more fuel on this. And there we are. Our cooked red meat has cooked. And just as an example, I'm going to eat my fill of this. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, let's do 4. Now this is fresh for 4 days. So I'll drop it right here. And close our inventory, put this oil back. That was fresh for 4 days. Now it's fresh for 6. Look at that. We could definitely use more wood. Are there any trees around here? No. There's that pine, but it's way off. Kind of like half expecting to see more copper just sitting on the surface somewhere. Because it'd be funny, right? But we have a little bit more daylight. We haven't really done any exploring down here in this plain. Which, I mean, that's kind of a neat area. Yeah, let's see what the topology looks like down here. I'm going to be looking around for crops too while we're at it. Another thing I would really like in an ideal place to build is, honestly, for it to be rainy. If we open our character menu, we can see rainfall in this area. And this will range from, I think, like almost never to almost all the time. I believe those are the qualifiers they use. I'd like to live in an almost all the time, honestly. It reduces some of the workload for watering crops, which is nice. And though, honestly, that's kind of minimal. But the big thing, for me anyway, is I think the rain sounds really nice. I just like rain. It's very cozy. Yeah, not really the space that we need. So farms, we're going to be doing a lot of farming. We will be needing a lot of mostly flax. Actually, farming for self-sufficiency is not that big of an ask in this game, but you can never put enough flax into the flax monster. It is ravenous. It can always consume more. Or at least that's what it feels like. You'll understand when we get there. We'll be building a lot of things that use flax. That's a bear. That's a bear. Nope, 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 nope. Oh no, please don't get caught on things. Please don't get caught on things. I think it gave up. Okay, good. Where even am I? What time is it? 19:22. I should probably start turning around. Watch as I don't. Watch as I just willfully make a mistake. This is a very tall pine. None of that has resin. Huh. Well, I kind of desperately need firewood, actually, so let me, before it gets too dark. Okay, so now we have our axe, and let's cut this big old tree down. And then I'm gonna turn around and head home. So because this tree is so tall and it has so many blocks in it, it takes longer to go through, and it will cost more durability on our axe. We might even not be able to get through all of it. We'll see if that's the case. We'll definitely run into that at some point. Nope, we were able to get the whole thing. The whole thing breaks right down for us. Pine trees have a very good chance to drop a seed, which in the case of pine trees is a pine cone. Because we broke just the whole tree and didn't really go after any of the leaves, we only got one seed, but it is getting dark, so I'm gonna head back home. And we really need to find a place to live. That, I think, we have a decent store of calories at this point, so I think we're gonna be looking for a place to live next. That'll be tomorrow's goal. We will travel far and wide to find a place to call our own. Oh, there's a thunderstorm over there somewhere. The clouds in this game are really cool. The way that you can see storms rolling across the landscape, and it's the little touches, really. Also, look at this sunset. Those are some cool colors. Just saw lightning over there. Yeah, look at all that. That's quite a storm. Look at that red. That's impressive. Alright, do we have anything else we need to do? Oh, I can store this on the floor. Or on the ground, rather. I guess that isn't really a floor, is it? I will reset our torch. No, it hasn't been close to 48 hours, but let's go to sleep. We are at 4:30, and we are taking starvation damage. That's alright. Won't be hard to fix. Grab our cooked red meat here. Seal our quote-unquote cellar back up. I'm going to keep a hold of these last two pieces, throw them in our inventory. Because I want to find a home. I want to find a place to actually start setting up, build some walls, really start making progress. Do some clay forming. That'll actually be the next thing on our list. Alright, I'm gonna try heading north. Unfortunately, we have this big mountain range ahead of us. Oh, that'll be really annoying. You know what? What if I check out this area instead? So I was thinking that there's like a whole mountain ridge right here that we would have to continually traverse if we decide to settle like up in this area. We'd have to continually traverse that. Yes, go around, but I think this is all kind of cliffy as well. Every time that we come down here to get copper. So it might be smarter if we instead, look over here for some place to set up. This might be good. I don't know how steep this is though. Well, I guess we'll find out. The day is young. Let's see how we can waste it. Look at this copper deposit that we already marked. I don't know if copper has a higher chance to spawn in basalt or what, but since it's so visible, I'm just gonna take a look over this slope while we're here. So that's this landform here that we were looking at. And it looks not that cliffy, actually. Cave there. I think that's high fertility soil, so that's nice. There's some clay. It's all low fertility. So I guess that's the curse of this world, is there's a ton of low fertility soil. And this is clay. Nice. I saw that there was a like slightly desaturated, vaguely more reddish patch here that sometimes indicates clay, and that is exactly what it was. And I also see some bright green in this direction, which is... oh, it's these berry bushes. I thought they might be doing crops. Is that... that's copper up there. That's going to be a bit of a challenge to collect, though. Let me see. Since that's so close to the surface here, there might be nuggets on top. And there are. Got him. So this is a small hide. Now, fat can be used on... one fat can be used on a large or a huge, or 2 mediums. And I don't actually know what how many smalls. You might be able to do like 3 smalls. That would be awful nice. But using it on 1 small would be a huge waste, so I'm not going to do that. Let's see if you can do 2 smalls. You can do 2 smalls, but I'm going to see if you can do at least 3 before I commit to doing that. Now, I remember that I saw clay somewhere on this shore. I don't remember where that was. Oh, and here's the clay. If I remember right, there's high fertility soil, or at least what we thought was high fertility soil, somewhere down here. Bitter bullet. Bitter bullets are definitely poisonous. I think only mildly, but still, poisonous is poisonous. Here's that cave. So the high fertility is going to be down here a bit further. And is that what this is? Yes, it is. Oh, that's so good. I don't actually think I've ever found high fertility soil in the world before. Oh, there's cornflower. Very cute. It's very weird how these fruit trees are spawning. They usually have leaves and a bunch of branches, and I don't know what's happening here. You know, since we found so many copper deposits and we have such good availability of copper, I think maybe we should we take a gamble and wait until we have a bucket to make our farm? I mean, I think it would only delay us by a couple days. So without a bucket, you can't really place water blocks. And you definitely want water in your farm. You want good irrigated cropland. There's another trader, and that That is a proper fruit tree. And that is a pair of wolves. One of them just having a float, you know, as you do. Let's go say hi to this trader. Hello, what's your name? Adachi, the artisan. Oh, we can buy tapestry pieces? That's exciting. We can sell rough gemstones, clay, charcoal. Okay, I like that. We'll definitely be coming back to visit you later. And I am starting to starve, so let's grab a cooked red meat. Let's stave that off a bit longer. Now this, a pink apple tree. We will come back to that later as well. So this is definitely flat, but I don't know about being, and it's full of medium soil. Rain falls almost all the time. How accessible are very accessible. There's a ton of trees. So this is good. This is good for like hunting, having kind of edge of a tree line, or having a tree line is very good for hunting. Can we get up into like this? That might be good too. Kind of up in there. Okay. Looks like this is all larch forest. Is this another fruit tree? It is. Okay. Right, so one more thing I want to check. Larch. I want to pull it up in the handbook. And what kind of color do we get out of that? So debarked is very light. I don't hate it. Oh, it's a very light colored wood. It's almost a little bit birchy. I think I like that. Given the rest of the palette that we'll be working with, which at least in the early game is going to be basalt, and we found a bunch of clay deposits, a bunch of red clay deposits scattered all over the place, and I think there's several more I haven't marked yet. I haven't quite found. Like this, there might be one in here. That looks like something, though that might be peat. That looks like there's a deposit of something there. That's probably peat as well. But anyway, we found a bunch of red clay deposits, so we might do red clay shingles. I've never done a clay shingle roof, and I'm very curious what that workload actually looks like in practice, so maybe we'll do that. But I think with the dark basalt cobblestone and chalk for accents, ooh, that's really neat. Since we have such ready access to chalk, we could totally do like patterning on the floor with that. And then I think this larch would actually look pretty nice as a good contrast to that. And we'll have a bunch of plaster as well. So I think this little valley here, or kind of valley, this field that we're overlooking right now, this sort of area here, this might end up being home. Oh no, oh no. I think that's a bear. I don't want to turn around to find out. Oh yeah, it's a bear. And that's a wolf. Okay, very cool. I wandered too close to the trees. No! I wanted to tag the clay. Well, that's our first death. Welcome to how deaths work. Oh, because this is a wooden bed, this set our spawn, which is the result of a mod. I have surface rifts turned off because I find them just really annoying. And I don't feel that they really do that much in terms of improving the gameplay, so I just have them turned off. But because I have rifts turned off, rifts are also a decent source of at least that first gear, the first temporal gear, which temporal gears, for those not familiar with this game, are a teal-colored glowing gear that allows you to set your spawn point. But because those are going to be much harder for me to come across, I have a mod that will allow us to craft them. Actually, two. I want to try them both and see which one feels more balanced. One of them uses rusty gears and the other one uses, I believe it's bronze. And I kind of favor the idea of the bronze one, because that seems like a bit more of an investment, though I guess that depends on how easily we're able to make rusty gears out of trades. But anyway, since we aren't going to have very many temporal gears, especially in the early game, I have a mod installed that allows any beds better than the grassy bedroll to act as a spawn point. I kind of wish it was only placed once. But that is now our spawn point for the time being, which I guess isn't really that much further away than our actual spawn point, which would be over here. Speaking of which, something that I do in every world is I find 00 and I mark it. Just for reference, really. So this is the Walk of Shame that you're probably very accustomed to in games of this sort. But there is, again, a mod that I need to explain. The mod that I have to explain now is Player Corpse. When we die, a skeleton spawns wherever we were, and we can loot that skeleton to get our inventory back. That really just prevents your stuff from despawning if it takes a while to get over to it, and also keeps it all in one place, so you aren't going to lose some of it by it falling into some weird crevice or what have you. It's a mod that I see used on honestly most multiplayer servers, and it's a lot nicer than finding a pile of floating junk. So I've decided to use it for my single player as well. It has some other benefits for multiplayer. For example, there's a configurable cooldown on how long before players other than the player who died can loot the corpse. So kind of an anti-griefing thing. It's another fruit tree. Whoa. This cave is crazy looking. Oh, and there's copper right here. Well, we will be coming back for that, but for now, I have no equipment, so I'm not even going to bother. Alright, so I'm going to start sprinting because I don't know where this bear is. Might still be around. And yes, it definitely is. That's our torch, by the way. Okay, good, he's walking off. Bears drop tons of bushmeat, but I don't think we can really take it on, even with full health. Not yet. Alright, I'm just gonna sneak in here, grab our stuff, and get out. It's chasing a rabbit or something. Good. Stay distracted. I'm getting out of here. Oh, there's another fruit tree. Oh no, that's the wolf. No, I'm running. I'm running. It doesn't look like the wolf is following us. Good. I think this kind of rolling plain here is relatively secure. So that's good. It is... Rainfall is very common, which I like. I'd prefer for it to be almost all the time, but very common is alright. It definitely has ocean access. Pretty decent ocean access. I mean, it's on the side of the Chalk Islands. It's all medium fertility soil. There's access to good resources. Doesn't seem to be any copper in here, but a bunch up here that we've already found. what is the temperature difference? So let's explain one of my other mods. All of these little icons you see are from one of my 2 HUD mods. And up here in the upper left, we have the current weather and temperature. And this is the wind speed and direction. We have the current temperature. So it's 9 degrees Celsius on top of this hill, which is very dark. So it's 9 degrees Celsius on top of this hill. But if I run down here to sea level, it's 12 Celsius. So that is a like 2 to 3 degree difference in temperature. Greenhouses, which are considered very good to have, add 5 degrees Celsius to their contents. So 3 degrees temperature is actually a pretty big difference for farming. This adds a little bit. We're only 13 meters above sea level here. This might be a decent place to start our farm. Especially if we decide not to wait until we have copper. We'd be able to start building it right in this. And using a lot of the medium fertility that's already around. And I'm going to at least put down a fire here. I guess we'll see where it goes from there. We might live here. I think that wolf is pretty far off. I can't make another chest right now. Another reed chest. Let me drop our firewood somewhere. We can honestly just put it right next to the fire. Fire pits do not spread, thankfully. Oh, there's some peat here. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice bonus for early game. Okay. You know what? I think I'm sold. I think this is where we're gonna live. So I'm just gonna clear out some space for us. Put these ferns somewhere. I really like the ferns. I mean, of course I do. Of course I like the ferns, right? Oh. Our fire went out. Ah, fireflies. Let me put my torch out. You see them? Probably all you can see right now. It's really dark. Oh, they just flew away. But hey, there's fireflies around here. So we'll probably see more of them in the coming years, frankly. So I would like to start building. But first things first, we need to get all of our stuff from our previous base, which is somewhere way off in that direction. How far is that from here? It's like 700 meters away. But, you know, across all of this terrain. So what all is up there? Well, there's the food. There's some more firewood that would actually be worth getting. I mean, we might as well, right? I think the first thing I want to do tomorrow morning, though, is grab this clay. No, I want... Maybe I'm going to come up in here and grab some of this low fertility soil. Because our first walls, we're going to be building a dirt hut. Basically. TLDR, dirt hut time. Real dirt hut hours. So to make a hay bed, we need 24 dry grass. Not a tall ask. Just takes a minute. There we go. Oh, this never finished cooking. Right? Oh no, it is finished cooking. Never mind. Make our hay. Make our bed. Don't think there's anything in the immediate surroundings. So I'm gonna take a chance. Don't love that. Oh, I slept in a little bit later than I meant to. I forgot to wake up. But we are honking. So let's eat something. Got these black currants at hand. The rest of our food is back at our old campsite. So let's get over there, and I'm going to plant this pine seed. Hey, bunny. That's a wolf. Running, 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 running. You know, we're at full health. I have 3 spears. Do I want to go for the wool for the pelt and possible fat? I kind of do. I kind of really do. What if I... Ooh. Nope. Oh, I can just about climb onto here. Okay. Oh no. Now it knows about me. Oh. Wait, that only took 3 hits? Wow, okay. That's awesome. So we got a bunch of raw bushmeat, 2 medium rawhides, and a piece of fat, which you know what that means. 2 oiled medium hides. There and there. That works. Gonna grab that. I will swap you cooked red meat for uncooked bushmeat. And I'll set that to cooking while I head off to our previous spawn, which I think is out of my render distance. I don't know, my render distance is really big. Well, no, okay, so we already mathed out it's about 700 meters. How far is my render distance? Oh. It's a full kilometer. So yes, that will continue cooking while we're away on this journey. And I think I'm gonna hit up all of the exposed copper. All the surface copper chunks. The native copper, as it were. That looks like peat over there. I will probably not mention that in the video. You know, this is a new kind of video for me. Generally do very scripted kind of stuff, but this is... I'm just playing and reacting. Editing this will be a learning experience. Right, so here's our first little bit of copper. I'm gonna pick that up and we got 3 nuggets. It's 3. We need 20 to make an ingot, which even if we don't actually make an ingot out of it, ingot is kind of the base unit of workable copper. And I think that's deep enough that I can take a jump and live. Oh, wish me luck. Yes! Good. That was just deep enough. That was actually kind of risky. You know what? On second thought, I am not... No, I am not going to collect the copper yet. Because we don't really have a storage solution right now. We are waiting 100% on cattails to respawn, and that's not good enough. That is not reliable enough. So yeah, I just grabbed these 3, but I think that is all we're gonna get. Oh, this is all barren over here. We should grab soil from here. We'll grab our old stuff first, and I'll keep in mind that this is all barren, so I can just strip this and not care at all that I'm, you know, decimating natural beauty. Oh, I am going way too far. Hold on. It's up on this ridge. And actually, while I go, I should mark the new place, which is here. Bam. Home. Save. And I will pin it. Some more goats. Should we? No. Let's see how much inventory space we have left first. All right, here we are. Oh, give me back this torch. So I can leave the bed. Definitely want this pelt. The fire starter can stay. Want the firewood. And you know what? I'm just gonna take this. Actually, what else can I throw in here? Let me toss the firewood, cooked red meat, pelts, both of these berries, just merge them, whatever, it's fine. And the resin, sure. Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, and now, gonna pick this up, throw it on my back, And the way this mod works is throwing it on my back. Oh, does not decrease my walk speed because it's only a reed chest. If it was anything bigger, it would decrease my walk speed and I think increase my hunger. My hunger rate is not currently increased with just the reed chest. But if I go into third person, you can see I very much have a reed chest on my back. And the spear and axe are there from another mod. That's Harper's Immersive Tools, I believe. Just puts your tools on your back. And I think that's neat. So we actually have a fair bit more inventory space than I thought. Though the chest on our back is our only storage. You know what? Some red meat would be really good. Oh no, this goat is angry. I mean, understandable. Oh, 7. That's so good. I'm gonna check this. Oh, and let's eat something. So I'm gonna get this off my back, grab our cooked red meat. Now I'm gonna throw that back onto my back, and I'm gonna grab this bony soil, and I'm gonna break this cracked vessel. We got some grass, whoopee, and some blue clay, which I don't think we've actually found any blue clay, so that's surprisingly precious. Blue clay is one of the basic colors of clay, though it seems much less common than red, at least in this version of the game. What time is it? Ooh, it's 4:30. I have a bit more space. You know what? I'm gonna grab some of these copper chunks just sitting around, but I need to be quick about it. Okay, so here's this copper. Oh, wow, there's a lot here. And something else I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab some of these granite rocks, or I'm gonna take these, and this is from a mod. This is from the Natural Trails mod. I'm gonna make a granite cairn and put it there, so now I know at least roughly where that copper deposit was more or less centered, since I have now removed the marker. See, I love these details. When you're in a desert, which I think this counts as a desert. Yeah, rainfall is uncommon. Sometimes you'll put your hand up to block like dust blowing in your face, and it's just all these little details in this game. I like them a lot. Again, I'm gonna take these and build a cairn, mark the location. Oh, look at all this. How many did I just get from just this? So I was at 26, so that's 47 minus 26, 21. I got 21 out of that. That is a whole nugget just itself. There we go. Onward. Oh, the sun is getting pretty low. I don't love that. Oh, wow. There's so much. I'm gonna end up coming home with a full stack of copper, aren't I? By the way, if you are curious about my world settings, there is a link in the description to a Google Doc that lists all of the world settings, all of the mods that I'm using. So if you really want to, you could set this up yourself. Although I don't have the seed in there. And that is to avoid spoilers. Apologies. But you know it's necessary. Unfortunately. Oof, okay, so it is getting dark. I am beginning to hear the night animals. And I am kind of far from home. So I don't love that. Here's more. Let me make the thing. So it turns out we can have more than what I was assuming was a full stack. I forgot that nuggets can go up to 128 in a stack. We do indeed have over 64. We have close to 8 ingots worth. And that's a lot. That is a lot. We're honestly surprisingly close to being able to make an anvil even. Although, first we're starving. And munching some berries. Let's see. I didn't hit up this one, but otherwise I think I hit up basically all of the native copper nuggets we found. Got 77 out of it. That's so much. Nearly 8 ingots. You need 9 ingots worth to make an anvil. Which making a copper anvil is definitely in our best interest in the fairly near future. With an anvil, we'll be able to smith a whole bunch of things. Yeah, it's getting pretty dark. There we are. Here's home. Grab that. Throw that meat on the fire pit. Put down our chest. Throw down a torch real quick too. Oh, we had 3 more nuggets in our sort of backpack. So we actually have 8 ingots worth here. This bony soil I can get out of my inventory. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and we will deal with these later. We'll see what we'll do with those. Monsters begin to appear. So that was the last night of no rust spawn. And now the spooky monsters will begin spawning. Doesn't really bode too well for us, but thankfully, because I turned off the surface rifts, that is going to be mostly isolated to the subterranean reaches. So if I look down this cave now, which, ooh, does look like they'd be able to climb out of. Hold on, I'm gonna knock these out of the way. But I don't think anything will be able to climb out of there. We might be able to see stuff moving down there now. I'm not seeing anything right away. But I think with that sort of cliffhanger and or spot of tension, shall we call it, I think that's a decent place to end it. We've made incredible progress. We have 8 ingots worth of copper nuggets ready to go, though that means that the next episode is going to be us starting to process them, which will involve a whole slew of other crafting systems. And I am, honestly, very excited about it. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you choose to join me again in the next episode, and as always, have a great one.